Hey guys, welcome to another live stream. Getting ready to flatten these slabs, and we'll put a glue ready rip down the side. It kind of has one, but it isn't the greatest. So we're going to lock these down, get them all wedged up, flatten these sides, and then I've got to do dominoes all the way down for the client. They do want to do the glue up themselves. So we're going to go ahead and get it ready for them. But they moved a little bit. We got a little bit of material to take off, and we're going to try to keep it as thick as possible. So if you're watching this, on a replay, that's kind of like what's going on. We're going to try and get more of these done. We're staying real busy with the flattener. Just want to get more content out to you guys. But let's go ahead and get these things locked down. Like I said, we'll go ahead and flatten them. And we're also going to book match it, which means we're going to keep them in the same thickness. So I already adjusted this in. This slab was moving a good bit. So I have leveled up this corner and the far opposite corner to the same height. Now that's going to allow us to take the minimum amount of material off of this slab and with still keeping a flat edge. So that was what was going on there. Man, some of these screws, when they hit the metal underneath, they get all mucked up. So it gets them really, means it's like really hard to get it started. In the wood, if they could lose the point. Okay. So just going to get it started. I like to do one and then do the opposite side, just to keep it from moving. Let's get that one done, we'll get this one done, and then we'll move back and do the other side. And then just because this is so long, then we'll come back and we'll shim it out in the middle. Let's see. I'm looking for a good place to put this where it's not going to... There we go. I worry sometimes it'll go through and hit the metal underneath it, but I think we missed it. But we still got a good bite. Let's do it on the other side as well. Just need the 4. We will shim up the corners, though, before we get started there. Let's see. These shims are actually just from Home Depot. You get these. They just come in like a little pack. They're really cheap, actually, real affordable. Yeah, not too bad. This over here. So we've been really impressed so far with the extension. Real happy with the on this machine. It does it's a really good job. It added an extra 5 foot to our previous length, which was 9 foot was the longest that we could do. So now we can do up to 14 foot long. And rarely do we get anything that long. I mean, we can't even dry it, so we would have to turn people away. And then what we would do is now we can dry 12'8", and then obviously flatten 14. So anything we can dry, we can flatten, which is awesome. It's a great thing to be able to offer our clients. Let's see, that looks like a good one. Just making sure everything's nice and tight down here. All right, so now we're going to go through and we're just going to shim underneath wherever the high spots are. Typically, I would do this before I lock it down, just kind of. But these being so long, it's not that big of a deal. Sometimes you got to double stack these just to get underneath the raised parts. Go, that's good. Okay, almost done with this one. Should be good. And here. We might do a couple of tie down or hold downs on the outside just to keep the center down. We go grab some more. One of the nice benefits of doing the getting that extension installed was kind of forcing ourselves to clean up our shop. It was long overdue, and it was definitely welcome. It was definitely a welcomed opportunity to get that done. It's just so easy to get caught up in everything else you got to do. And if you don't clean as you go, I try to, but it doesn't always happen. One, we'll see if over there is gonna work. It's probably gonna be on that sidebar. All right, we don't need these. This over here. A little bit. We'll shim on that side too. This can actually be some of the more frustrating parts to take care of, as you drill into the tabletop. You get the little splinters that come up and they end up underneath your fingernails, just like that. All right. Put this guy out of the way. Hey, what's up, Chris? see if I can figure this out real quick. Gotta. So chat. Thanks for hanging out, man. Thanks for stopping by. Trying to get my chat window on the big TV over here. Let's see if this is going to show everything. Huh. Well, what's going on with it? Oh well. Let's pull this over. Maybe I can see it this way. Okay, so at least I can see it now. All right. Shop's looking great. Thanks, man. Yeah, so we got these two slabs we're going to run today, get them flattened, and then just a glue line, or what is it called? A glue ready rip on each side, on this one and then on that one. So it should be a good evening. Finally stopped raining outside. That was kind of a bummer. I was hoping to get a lot of yard work done today, but you know, it's what it is. Okay, so this is going to be on that. That's okay. Looks good. So basically what I'm doing now is just to kind of keep it from bouncing in the middle. When you get long slabs like this, regardless of how well you wedge them, it still gets some chatter, and that head unit wants to bounce a little bit. It can be kind of frustrating. Noisy too. We'll put this over here. All right. Double check, make sure everything feels solid. Just make sure everything is buckled down, ready to go. It's feeling pretty good. Yeah, so customer brought these in. They had them, they bought them, they were supposedly dried, and then they got them flattened. But the problem was they got one side to like 95% and the other side to 90%. And they needed both sides 100% so they could do their glue up and get ready. So that's why they brought them to us, is to go ahead and finish it out. But between them getting it done and getting it over to us, this one moved a good bit, probably, I don't know, a little over 1/8, almost 1/4 of an inch. So the slab right now, 1 5/8 inches. Yeah, so almost 1/4 of an inch movement. So we're gonna try and take that out for them, try to keep it as thick as possible. We'll see what we can get done. Like I said, you know, 1 5/8 inches. I really want to try and keep this at as close to 1.5 inches as possible. But it's going to be, you know, if it's tabletop, so it's going to be kind of tough in getting it 100% like they want it. Unfortunately, we like to get these things in before they cut them down. You know, if we can flatten them out at starting at 2 inches and then work our way down, or work our way down from 2.5 to get to 2 inches. But unfortunately, it doesn't always come that way. But at least these things don't look like a potato chip. So I'm going to line this up with where I think the high point is, and then I'm going to sight it down. I'm guessing either here or over on this side. So we'll sight it down. Yeah. Well, actually, it might even be this one over here. This is kind of a high edge to it back here. Yeah. All right. All right, so we're going to sight it here. We'll run it a couple times just to make sure that we're not going to dig in too deep. That can always happen whenever you're first starting out. You think you got the high, you're gauging off the high spot, but it's actually in the middle of the slab, and all of a sudden you're trying to take a ½ inch off, and it's not a big fan of it. We're going to turn the inverter on. All right, I want to get ready. Let me know how the audio sounds with this, since this is a kind of a new setup. I'm hoping it's not too much. Time. I'm just going to mark it with a pencil. I can kind of gauge where we're at. All the pencil time. thought I was far enough over. That's far for spread. Well, making a little bit of progress, but we got to move this thing in a little bit. I thought I was over enough. Apparently that's not the case. It's okay. Which is going to be kind of fun, given that you don't have a whole lot of room with the those hold downs that are in the middle over here. So one option would be is do one, do the other, like so you would just leave this one on the table, take this one off, do this one, and when you're ready to flatten, you got a solid flat reference on each side. Then you can put them back together, push them up into the middle of each other because you don't need to worry about the clamps in the center, and then run it. But we're going to do our best here. Get this thing pushed in. Let's see where we're at. I'll go turn the laser on. No. Let's come out of the center here. All right, so we're definitely within it right now. Let's see. Okay. So these slabs are approximately 20 and a half inches wide. We got 48 inches to work with, but the hold downs that we're using are roughly 4 inches long. So that creates a little bit of a tight situation whenever you get into running stuff this big, this wide, and then trying to do it side by side. Let's see what we can do, because we could bring this one over a little bit. I don't know that it's going to be that necessary. Let's just get another wedge over here, see if this will fit. It's too big. What my thought is, I'm just trying to prevent it from bouncing too much when it gets into the center. And it's probably just going to have to be taking smaller passes, in all honesty. So it just kind of is what that is. All right, so we'll take those off. All right, I don't need this one now. All right, so let's buckle this thing back down. Go over here and do this side, just like we did earlier. See if I have any thinner shims over here. Actually, one, maybe two more. It's amazing how many really thin shims that come in those packs. Oh, well, we don't even need one. The thinnest ones we got, they don't even fit, so we should be good to go there. All right. Double check our hold downs. Go. Yep, good. All right, so let's get all of our screws off. Definitely don't need the blades hitting those things. All right. Pretty solid. I feel like it should bounce too much. All right, let's run it again. We're going to leave it on this this height. We'll just run it again off of this. It's a lot of fun, man. Awesome. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of manual control. Does such a. I'm gonna go half quarter turns now. Just gonna do this the far one, but this is gonna be finished up. This one's ready to flip. Dust collection. Dude. All right, so we're going to push this thing all the way back. Some room to work. Sweet. All right. Because I don't know if you could even hear me when I was talking when the machine was running, but yeah, it's a lot of fun to run, a lot of fun to watch. Yeah, it's just a fun machine. Whew, this bag is full. Look at that. That's a lot of wood chips. Just toss this thing outside real quick. I bet I could. You bet you could. Oh, yeah. Hey, on that last video that I had posted, you were asking something about like wood for cabinetry. What exactly are you looking for? I don't carry like dimensional per se, but we can always get it and dry it. Just really depends on what you're looking to do. What do I do with all the chip and sawdust, man? I try to give it away the best to anybody that wants it. Some people can use it for like pet bedding, you know, like rabbits, chicken coops, and whatnot. This depends on what kind of sawdust we have. Like walnut is supposedly really bad for animals, so when we get that stuff in, what we try to do is mix it with like soy wax, and then we will use it for fire starters. It's basically like a candle with 1,000 wicks, you know, when you have all that sawdust in there. It's makes a really good fire starter material. Put that thing. All right, so we're going to flip it now. This side's done. But my mom actually wanted it for flower beds. She was spreading, I think I've given her like 5 or 6 bags now. She just uses it, spreads it all over her property. And so at least, somebody's getting some use out of it. There for a while, I mean, it was great for campfires, if you're trying to start it. The stuff's, it's all kiln dried for the most part. And you got that stuff that's just so small, it lights like it's gasoline. So here. All right. Sure it's off. Oh, you didn't hear the notification? It's all good, Dad. Just, we flattened up with one side, getting ready to flip. But right now I'm just kind of getting rid of all the sawdust so we have a flat surface. We flip it. I'm going to get all these wedges out too. Actually, that's what we'll do. Wow. Yeah, it used to be, when they cut it, it was flat, but like, this thing definitely needs to be trued up a little bit. Pour those on the floor. Maybe. Okay, so we just did. It's always a fun part, trying to flip these things and not lose a bunch of skin off your fingers. Not. Lots of Chris in here. Yeah. All right. Let's pull this one up. Oh, that's what I can do. Be smart, take the air compressor outside and let it refill. It's so freaking loud. Sorry guys, this is gonna be loud in the microphone. All right, there we go. All right, so bring this guy down. Let's go back. Flip. Nope. Yeah. Excuse me. One of the things I did today was I moved all my lights over to this side of the shop, and then I put them up inside the rafters and got them recessed. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it or not, but got one left over here. I just need something for the workbench, but the other 4 are up inside, so they sit flush the rafters. But, really happy with that. All right, let's get that back down because those lights flood out the camera. It's really, really bright. All right, that should be good. Hoping we don't have to take too much off of this. Like I said, my goal is to stay as close to 1.5 inches as possible. I don't know if that's going to be how feasible that's going to be on this slab, given how much it moved on them, you know, before they brought it to me. And unfortunately, we found out a lot, you know, a lot of people that dry, just because it says it's kiln dry doesn't mean it was kiln dried properly or long enough. It just means that it went inside a kiln. So if you're like ever looking to do anything, you know, a lot of people that are in the industry know, you know, get a moisture meter, know how to use it, what to look for. But if you don't, if you're new to the industry, you're just looking, hey, you know what? I want to build a table with a relative, kids, whatnot. Well, you know, grab somebody like myself or anybody else that's experienced and take them with you to the wood yard. Improperly dried wood, man. That's actually how we got started with this, with our kiln. Yeah, we got a couple of slabs from 2 or 3 different people, and the moisture meter said, hey, it's dry, it's ready. We flattened it just like we're doing here, hit it with the moisture meter again, and it was still wet. Like, awesome. So when that happens, you know, your projects are going to move. They're not going to be happy with it. Some of them may not even take finish very well. It's just a whole slew of problems that can happen. And it's real frustrating. So we were decided, like, well, what can we do to help prevent this in the future? And it was just like, well, we could control the drying process, you know? So that's what we decided to do. Nice. So that's what we decided to do. And went down the rabbit hole of different, like a solar kiln, that's the cheapest option. But even the cheaper, the most inexpensive would be to build a little rectangular box, put a dehumidifier on one side and a fan probably on both sides, just to draw all that moisture through. But you know, you're talking like a couple hundred board feet at a time. So then we went to solar kiln and then dehumidification, your typical conventional kilns, and then finally settled on our iDry. But man, what a rabbit hole to go down. All right, so yeah, really hope I lined it up better than I did the first time. I'm going to be so irritated myself. I think we're going to be close till it gets down here. We'll see. Where's my marks? I'm marking down here. It's going to be close, but they're going to cut this off anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. All right, start it back up. Yeah, it's just barely going to catch that last lip over there, but it'll be all right. Be less than 1.5 inches where we're at right now. That's 1/8 of an inch. The dust hose came off. Yeah, I gotta figure out a better way to keep this thing slipping over that corner. All right, should be all right. Let's see how we do. All right. So, got it flattened, and I stopped right at 1.5 inches. There's like a little bit of a low spot from like this section, but you can barely feel it. And after you sand it, I don't think it's going to even be noticeable. The big thing is they wanted all the rough spots, rough patches, out of this side that's what we got done. So now I'll get all the sawdust blown off. We'll pull this out of the clamps, and I got to find a little things like they're called bench dogs, and we'll flip both of these slabs over, and then we'll use the track saw. And we're going to put a straight edge all the way down on both of these. Figure out where I put my drill. And we just filled up a second bag of sawdust. So it's typically half an hour per bag, so not bad. About 1 hour of flattening. Let's see how long it takes to get this edge started. Let's see, what was the question? Will cable ties work to hold in place? Yeah, I think so. What I need to do is probably just reroute my 550 cord like around that plate that comes out, and then that'll hold it, because the little ribbed sections, on that essentially that dryer hose, that'll hold the cable in place. It slips off. There's a little bolt that it's on right now. So then when it slips off that, then the machine can pull it over. And that's what's happening. But cable ties is not a bad idea. But 550 cord was just a little bit faster since I had access to it. It's not a bad idea. Or it's also not bad for me to practice my knots. Keep up to date with those. Oh my gosh. Oh, it looks like it started raining outside again. It's super humid. Okay. I need to flip them. See if I can find these guys. There we go. 4. Should be 6 since these things are so long. So what I'm doing is just getting this lifted up high enough where when I make my cut with a track saw, I don't actually cut into the plywood underneath it. But it's nice having that table it's a nice flat work surface. The other key is to make sure I don't get these cookies, too close to the edge and actually cut through it. I've actually done that before. Should be good. All right. This. Both of these. This might be too big of a flathead. Yeah, you can find a smaller screwdriver. So basically we're going to tie these things together, lash them together. That one's too big as well. All right. Let's see. Let's see if this will work. Yeah, it's like it's kind of working. The blade's almost too thick. I think that'll be able to make it work for us. You don't need a lot of pressure with these anyway. They're just there to hold alignment. All right, so what we'll do, slide this down a little bit further. Okay, use this straight line connector. Lock that in place. You can do it twice, and then and this just guarantees that it's in a straight plane. So then we'll just pull these down just a little bit, barely thumb tight. You don't want to dimple the aluminum. Find my other screwdriver. Must have made its way inside the house. It's always nice. right, so we'll take this off. We won't need that again. And then we're just going to skim this. So we'll get it onto the corner, see where we're at. That's that corner. See how this thing moved. All right, and we're down here. So if this is overhanging at all, it looks like it's not. If it was overhanging in the center, we'd have to push it back, but looks like it's pretty good. Like just a skosh over. Make sure we're going to cut through something here. Okay. So what we'll do is I'll get my dust collection set up here. Otherwise, it blows it all over me. And unfortunately, this one, let's see if this is going to be long enough. Just barely. All right, so this is 1.5 inches. This is 1 inch. We'll do 1 3/4 inches. Pull it off. Yeah, it'll go all the way through. Okay. So the fun part, it's like making all these tripping hazards. All right, so what I'll do is I'll carry everything, walk behind. Let's go get the shop vac turned on. Turn this off. All right, we'll get the next one over here and set up. We're going to do it on the same side, and then it'll be just so much easier to walk it. All right, so now I'm going to play shuffle this thing. Just take a look. Yeah, it looks really good. Yeah. Okay, now let's pull this thing into position. And then, oh, we also got to flip it, don't we? Okay, almost there. To there. And to here. So just remember not to put it too close to the edge so we don't cut it. Yeah, that one moved. This one moves pretty significantly. So it went like this, and it moved like that, because this apparently was a straight edge, and it's at least 3/8 of an inch, inside that straight line there. Okay. It's kicking up way more sawdust than I thought it was going to. All right, so okay, go. All right, that wasn't too bad. Yeah, it feels really good. So this, I mean, this is probably 1/8, but then, you know, you can allow for the blade curve, a little bit thicker. The material it took off, I'll just toss this to the side. Now, if you wanted to, you could put a clamp on the end of this, but this has that non-stick material on there. It's just not going any place. It does a really good job of not sliding around. Well, I'm going to break this down so we can get this put back together. And I've got to go ahead and clean up all the sawdust on the floor and on the machine. Go. Okay. Try to leave them both on one of these and just kind of tighten up a little bit so they don't slide all the way down when I hang them up. Tell me anywhere, oh, hour and a half. Yeah, not too bad. Solid work. If these were thicker, straight out of the kiln, they probably would have moved a little bit more. We would have had to take more material off. But yeah, not terrible. But so I'll talk to the customer. So we are going to domino, which is just, let me see if I got any of them here handy. It's essentially, it's floating tenons. Let's see if you can see these, if they're too close. And it's basically for joinery, right? So we would flip this one over, marry it up with this side. We would cut a little notch out, and I've got a machine that'll do that. Then this would go in half of one slab and then half of the other. And it allows for better alignment whenever you're doing your glue up, because sometimes the edges can move on you, and then you got to try to clamp them down. Adds a little bit of strength to the joint. I hear some people say it does, some people say it doesn't. Regardless, it does help your glue up go a lot smoother, especially when you got a big project to do like this, and if it's just yourself. So you throw it to clamps, throw these things in, throw your glue on, and you're good to go. But the reason I can't do that tonight is I don't know which orientation this is going to go. Like, is that the top or is that the bottom and the other side's the bottom? But then which way is it going to, you know, marry up to? So I don't want to, you can go in the center, but if you're just off by even a millimeter, it creates a terrible problem when you go to glue up, or you can't use them at all. So I'm going to wait until he gets on site. We'll figure out the orientation of this. We'll do all the lineups and then do our dominoes and get him on his way. So, well, that's going to be it for me tonight. It is 8:40, and I've still got some cleanup to do, and then make sure that the kiddos are to bed and get out of here. So thanks for everybody hanging out tonight. And if you were, if you stayed this long and you're catching this on the replay, definitely appreciate it, spending the time. If you haven't, consider hitting that subscribe button, like, share it with your friends, all that stuff. It helps us to grow our channel, grows the community, and it's a lot of fun hanging out with you guys, not going to lie. But yeah, I'm really happy with the way this turned out. And I'm hoping if the weather turns and it gets better this week, that I'll get some other footage for you guys, get some more videos pushed out. It's just been super wet outside, haven't been able to get much done. So anyway, I guess that's going to do it for me. Let's get some music going. All right, guys, take it easy.